Yo, what's going on everybody? It's your boy Naruto Explain here, bringing you guys another Boruto 2 Blue Vortex discussion. Today, I want to pull up a chair and I want to talk to you guys about why there needs to be a serious discussion on why the group of Konoha ninjas that Konoha sends to the Sand Village is more important than you might have ever given thought about. In particular, why Sarada Uchia, if no other Konoha shinobi goes, Sarada is the one we need to take a much bigger and deeper look at for the Sunagakure assistance mission, which is why Sarada's character needs this mission more than anyone else in Boruto's generation. So jumping right into it, I think some of what we have to look at with Sarada is that for her character, she's at a career-defining moment right now, and I don't think enough people realize this. She's someone who needs this mission to be given to her because it's going to be crucial for her if she wants to succeed in her dream of becoming the first Uchiha to ever be Hokage. From that perspective alone, from that goal only, she is starting way behind the 8 ball. Which, for those of you guys who don't know anything about pool, or you haven't heard that expression before, if you've heard it but you don't know what it means, it's basically saying that you are starting out from a very unfavorable position that makes it extremely hard, and some might even say extremely unlikely, that you turn things around in a winnable fashion. The history between the Uchiha clan and the Hidden Leaf Village is something that unfortunately Sarada inherited just by being born into the clan that she was. It's due to no fault of her own, but she has to carry this burden on her shoulders that comes from the blood-soaked cross of her clan. Madara helped found the village, yet Madara picked up arms against the village for reasons that he would ultimately be proven to be right about, but it still is because of that original sin for Konoha shinobi who came from the Uchiha clan. Even though the dying words of the first Hokage were that the Uchiha were to be treated civilly, things they would take a turn after his death under the rule of the second Hokage. The third Naruto databook reveals to us that there were some in the Uchiha clan who took up Madara's cause once Tobirama, the one who's the more hardened of the Shinju brothers, he became Hokage because they saw that Madara, what he stated would happen, had come to happen. It was a shift towards more of Shinju related politics in the village, and the Uchiha, they were slowly being marginalized in the process, whether intentionally or unintentionally. Setsuna Uchiha was one of those Uchiha who believed in Madara's cause, enough to the point that he plotted to overthrow Tobirama before the Gold and Silver brothers stepped in and they took care of business for him. Under the fourth Hokage, Minato, someone who could have been a bright spot in helping bridge relations for the clan, given that his wife was close friends with the clan leader, but alas, Minato's Hokage reign, it was over in a flash, pun intended, as he died within a year of being named Hokage. And the Nine Tails attack that nobody even saw someone with a Sharingan anywhere near the Nine Tails, though there was enough concern that Danzo made sure to eliminate even the remote chance of Uchiha being involved, because in the Itachi Shinden story of Daylight, it reveals that Danzo and the elders, they went behind Hiruzen's back to issue orders specifically for Fugaku to not go anywhere near the Nine Tails, fearing his Genjutsu skill, which he was going there fully prepared to die to assist Minato, but confident in his ability to control the Nine Tails. Yet the elders, they ordered him to take the Uchiha and oversee the help evacuating the villagers to the safe zones. Once again, the action of one is what led to the many being punished. The Uchiha would have been forced to live on the outskirts of the village post rebuilding of Konoha, and it would lead to them being blamed for the attack itself. Under the third Hokage's second term, the tensions between the Uchiha and the village, they would boil over to the point where the clan, they wanted to plot a coup d'etat to install Fugaku as the fifth Hokage, with Fugaku's original plan leaning very heavily on Shisui and Itachi helping him, not realizing that they weren't just Konoha Anbu Black Ops, but they were also literally his ops as well. This of course led to the Uchiha massacre, and the clan would be publicly dishonored by Itachi, who ironically did the honorable thing by killing the clan and preventing their coup from dishonoring the clan further. But the stain of the clan would be there just off of the actions of Itachi. He'd be part of a criminal organization that was publicly viewed as having killed 3 Kage. Since the 5 Kage summit, for right or for wrong, which they had wrong information, they revealed that they thought that Orochimaru was part of the Akatsuki during the death of the 3rd Hokage and the 4th Kazekage. but they knew for certain that the Akatsuki were responsible for the death of the 5th Kazekage, who needed to be brought back to life by Chiyo, and the 5th Hokage was fighting for a life following Pain's invasion. Under the 5th Hokage, you ran into the issue of Sasuke becoming a rogue ninja, joining Orochimaru, then allying with the Akatsuki, then attacking several Kage at the 5 Kage summit, killing an appointed 6 Hokage before he could be confirmed for the role, and then it would be an Uchia who started the 4th Great Ninja War. Under the 6th Hokage, Sasuke, he was given an opportunity at redemption, and he was released on the condition that his parole was something that could be revoked by any Hokage, and if he acted out that kill on sight order, it will be reenacted or he'd be placed in jail, which I've explained in other videos why this is the case in universe, so I'm not going to repeat that information here. Under the 7th Hokage, Sasuke was proving to be a valuable asset, proving his worth to the ninja world, having helped save the world a couple of times since being pardoned. But then on one fateful night, he assisted the killer of the Hokage, Boruto, in escaping the village. While we as the audience know that Sasuke was helping an innocent Boruto escape death for a crime that hadn't been carried out at all, it was something that was added to the shame of the Uchia clan. All of that must be factored in when we talk about Sarada starting behind the 8 ball here. She has a lot stacked against her to overcome from that perspective, especially since as the reign of Shikamaru as 8th Hokage has started, and we are 3 years into it with her defending Boruto as a Kage killer, as well as defending Sasuke, a traitor who assisted a Hokage killer in escaping death. Even though she is in the right for this very moment, the broader ninja world, they do not know that. She has had a lot of bad karma on her ledger to make up for in the eyes of all those who know the truth about the ninja world, including the darker truths about the Uchia that have been kept a secret. For Sarada, this mission to go out to the Sand Village to offer assistance, it is one that she desperately needs if she's going to do anything of her own to begin building her resume to become the next Hokage after Naruto gets unsealed and likely begins grooming the next person to be Hokage, which I would argue it makes the most sense for Naruto to start grooming Sarada, but that's another video for another day. And if Sarada isn't going to be able to earn the right to be in the same room as Naruto for that to happen, she at least must now begin making her pathway forward. While she is only 15 years old in age, it is important to take note that age at which she becomes Hokage, it means nothing. So Hiruzen was already earning favor with the 1st and 2nd Hokage when he was in Sarada's age range, because just given the way that like he's drawn and everything, the flashbacks, he's like in that 10 to 12 range, which is like Sarada, she's 11 in Naruto Gaiden, so the Shin arc, and she's 12 in Boruto Part 1. And Hiruzen would eventually be appointed Hokage, though at that point in the timeline, Hiruzen was in his early 20s based on what we know about the Naruto timeline, but the road to him being worthy, it started well before that when he was a teenager. Even Minato, he was making a name for himself well before he became Hokage at age 23. He was shown as Jiraiya's direct student near the tail end of the Second Ninja War in that Minato one-shot manga, and he was part of the team Jiraiya that bravely fought against 2 Jinchuriki simultaneously, but by that point, he hadn't yet earned his moniker as the Yellow Flash who had that flee on sight order. But given where the timeline is and the appearances of Minato and Kushina, they were teenagers as well there, which given Jiraiya left the Rain Orphans after 3 years of fighting when things were dying down in the Rain Village because battlefields were shifting, Minato would have been 15 going on 16 at this point in the timeline. Yet despite this, Hiruzen and the others, they would be aware that a 15-year-old kid, the same age that Sarada is right now, was able to stop Kurama from emerging outside of Kushina, even though it almost killed him. In the 4.5 years that passed after this, Minato would begin making a name for himself in the 3rd Ninja War as a Jonin who got that moniker of the Yellow Flash. At this point, he's clashing with the future 4th Raikage A, and he's clashing with Killer B. Minato's exploits, they would become so legendary, they overshadow even the 3rd Raikage, who during that same year where Minato versus Killer B and A happened, the 3rd Raikage would die fighting 10,000 shinobi on his own. 3 years later, in the last year of the war, Minato would get even more fame for both driving back the Stone Village ninjas as well as having groomed a trio of shinobi, Kakashi, Obito, and Rin, who they would play a massive role in the destruction of Kanabi Bridge, a hotly contested battle point in the war, and one that once it got destroyed, it tipped the scales of the war very cleanly into Konoha's victory. Even Naruto, as we would learn in the Naruto manga via the flashbacks from the villagers' perspectives, they took note of how the obnoxious and super loud and annoying Nine-Tails Jinchuriki, the serial crayon eater, was building a name for himself even as far back as when he was 12 years old. They heard of how he defeated the Sand Village Jinchuriki, which stopped even more potential destruction of the village. They heard of how he played a key role in bringing the 5th Hokage back to the village. They heard of his struggles to bring the last Konoha Uchia back to the village as well. Obviously, he failed in that initial attempt. They heard of his battles against the Akatsuki, and then it all came to a head when a 16-year-old Naruto saved the village from pain. It's during times like this that those who are on the path to becoming Hokage, they've already begun cutting their teeth towards doing so, racking up accomplishments as they begin to inch closer and closer towards their prime years, which are still years away at that point. Sarada, at the age of 15, is only a little more than 2 years older than Itachi was when he massacred the Uchiha clan, which, as a reminder, Itachi is only 5 years older than Sasuke. I know he looks like a grown adult during the Uchiha massacre, he's not an adult. Sarada, at the age of 15, is 1 year younger than Naruto when he defeated Pain. While she did play a key role in that battle with Boro, and that's on her ledger, which resulted in the 7th Hokage being rescued, that's also a battle that is not made known public. Her teammate Boruto is the one who the public knows played a key role in the Momoshiki battle. And the Ishiki battle, they know what happened with Boruto there. They even saw Boruto teleport Ishiki out. A battle in the Sand Village where she's a part of the team that is going there to gather intel to support the Sand Village. It goes a very long way towards her becoming Hokage, even longer than her playing a key role in Hidari getting defeated, since if she wasn't there, Boruto isn't getting the Rasengan Uzehiko off, but that alone isn't enough, and it's not a sexy enough of an accomplishment as her going into another village, being acknowledged by people in that village and playing a key role, potentially defeating or pushing out some of the Claw Grimes and awakened Shinju that are there, and playing a key role and getting Gaara unsealed. Perhaps the bridge to this might be to have Tamari learn what happened to her brother, something that we are told by Kankuro that he does not want to have happen because, logically speaking, she would rush there because of how overprotective she is of her brothers. The idea of Sarada assisting the Hokage's wife, potentially even saving Tamari on that mission, especially given her standing in the Sand Village as the firstborn child of the 4th Kazekage, it could be a legacy-defining moment for Sarada. One that both gets her acclaim in another village, as well as starts planting the seeds in the minds of villagers that maybe, just maybe, the daughter of that unreasonable traitor Sasuke isn't that bad after all. We've seen that there are some Konoha shinobi who have already acknowledged Sarada for her power, outright stating they find it hard to believe that she's only a Genin during the Code Invasion, which is just further testament to the fact that her battle with Boro is not open knowledge. A Sarada and Tamari team up in the Sand Village is very much needed in my opinion, because at this point, if you're rooting for Sarada to become Hokage, she's coming up a little short in the public points column. Granted, when you know the truth about omnipotence, when that does come out, assuming it ever does come out, that will go a long way, but right now she is starting to get into a position where she's got to start racking the points up, which, if you're still not convinced that Sarada's character is worthy of being Hokage, you want to click here to watch this Sarada Uchiha video essay on the left, or you want to click here to watch this video on my Anime Explained channel where I discuss non-Naruto content.